Okay. If you're in my class, you know what to do, right? Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, everybody. This is our 2025 Poetry Out Loud Finals. Let's give a big round of applause for everybody that's here. We have 24 amazing reciters here today who are going to wow you. A couple notes before we get started. Still in school, the bell is rung. You know what this means about your cell phones. They should be off. You are here to enjoy your classmates and friends doing this awesome thing. They put a lot of work into it. So make sure your phones are away, be respectful, pay attention. We're gonna go through all 24. There will not be a break. We're gonna do them all in a row. You will be respectful and applaud for all of them. And then at the end, we'll go to our 6 hour for half an hour maybe, however much time we have left. There will be 3 contestants who will move on to state regionals. We will hopefully have that by the end of the day, maybe 4 o'clock or so, and we'll make an announcement. We won't have it here right away after the show. It'll take us a little bit. Ms. Mulvaney, did I miss anything?
Cell phones and there's no music.
You cannot leave. You cannot leave. You are stuck here with us for the next 80 minutes. It's going to be a good time, though, so don't worry. Okay, we're going to get started. I'm going to read a name, I'm going to say a poem, I'm going to say an intro, and then what do you do when they walk up on stage? Why don't you show me right now? Yes, that's what you do. We'll get a poem, and then I've got a few judges to introduce and some other people that will talk about and give a bunch of things in between the poems. But let's get our first poet up here. First one, we have Kamau Rodriguez. He's reading From the Sky. Kamau has had his fair share of performing between playing his violin and viola and being on stage for Washburn Theater. He's very excited to share his poetry with you all. Welcome, Kamau!
From the Sky. From the Sky, by Sarah Abu Rashid, after Lorca. When I die, bury me in the sky. No one is fighting over it. Children are playing soccer with empty bombshells. From the sky, I can see them. A grandmother is baking her Eid Makruta and Mamul. From the sky, I can taste them. Teens are writing love letters under an orange tree. From the sky, I can read them. Soldiers are cocking new rifles at the checkpoint. From the sky, I can hear them. Under fire, death and water are brewing in the kitchen. From the sky, I can smell them. When I die, bury me in the sky, I said. For now, it is quiet. No one owns it and no one is claimed.
Oh, what a start! How awesome was that? Okay, I'm gonna, in between the first, like maybe 5 or 6, I'm gonna do some recognition for some of our people that have helped us with this. First recognition in this front row here, we have all of our judges. Turn around and give a wave to the audience, judges. Yeah, let's give a round of applause. They took time out of their busy schedule, either as students or as teachers, to come and judge Poetry Out Loud. And it's a really hard thing to do. We have 24 awesome performers. Up next, We have Kalia Hansen reading Jaguar. Kalia likes to cheer and hang out with friends and family in her free time. Give it up for Kalia.
Jaguar by Francisco X. Alarcon. Some say I'm now almost extinct in this park. But the people who say this don't know that by smelling the orchids in the trees, they're sensing the fragrance of my chops. That by hearing the rumbling of the waterfalls, they're listening to my ancestors' great roar. That by observing the constellations in the night sky, they're gazing at the star spots on my fur. That I am, and always will be, the wild, untamed, living spirit of this jungle.
Okay, well, we're off to a good start. The next person I want to recognize, we have a table over here, wave at them, wave at the audience. These are our mathematicians. They're adding up all the scores. Yeah, give them a round of applause. Math is hard. They're doing a great job. Up next, we have Percy Jones reading Mr. Darcy. Percy has a passion for music, writing, playing, and listening to it. With a gecko named Pierre and a dog named Astra, they've got a continually attentive audience. Give it up for Percy.
Mr. Darcy by Victoria Chang. In the end, she just wanted the house and a horse, not much more. What if he didn't own the house? Or worse, not even a horse? How do we separate the things from a man, the man from the things? Is a man still the same without his reins? Here, it rains every 15 minutes. It would be foolish to marry a man without an umbrella. Did Cinderella really love the prince? Or just the prince on the curtains in the ballroom? Once I went window shopping, but I didn't want a window. When do you know it's time to get a new man? One who can win more things at the fair? I already have 4 stuffed pandas from the fair. I won fair and square. Is it time to be less square, to wear something more revealing? In North and South, she does the dealing, gives him the money in the end. But she falls in love when he has the money, when he is still running away. If the water is running in the other room, is it wrong for me to not want to chase it because it owns nothing else? When I wave to a man, I love what happens when another man with a lot more bags waves back.
Okay, we have a special guest with us here today. The state coordinator for Poetry Out Loud, Mary Hillman. Mary, why don't you wave at the audience? She came to this house. Let's give her a big round of applause. Your organization is what makes all of this thank you so much for coming, and we will see 3 of them. See you again at the next level. Up right now, we have Gwen Kennedy reading I Felt the Funeral in My Brain. Gwen likes to read and write in her free time. She wants to study neurology. Give it up for Gwen.
I felt a funeral in my brain, 340 by Emily Dickinson. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service like a drum kept beating till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul with those same boots of lead again as space began to toll. As all the heavens wore a bell and being but an ear, and I in silence, some strange race, wrecked, solitary, here. And then a plank in reason broke, and I dropped down, and I hit a world at every plunge, and I finished knowing then.
Okay, thank you, Gwen. I'd also like to thank all of the students and staff who did the sound and lights with us. They're in that middle. Why don't you give us a wave, too? I don't know what you're doing because I can't see you from here, but I think you're on the program. So if you have the program, just thank them. Up next, we have Lorelei De La Cruz reading It Was Not Death for I Stood Up. Lorelei has never been partial to poetry, but is thankful to read up here today. If there are any complaints, take it up with Mr. Rice. Welcome, Lorelei.
My poem. My poem was It Was Not Death for I Stood Up by Emily Dickinson. It was not death, for I stood up, and all the dead lie down. It was not night, for the bells put out their tongues for noon. It was not frost, for on my flesh I felt sirocco's crawl, nor fire, for just my marble feet could keep a chance of cool. And yet, it tasted like them all. The figures I've seen set orderly for burial reminded me of mine, as if my life were shaven and fitted to a frame and could not breathe without the key. And 'twas like midnight sun, when everything that ticked has stopped, and space stares all around, or grizzly's frost, first autumn morns repeal the beating ground. But most like chaos, stopless, cool, without a chance or spar, or even a report of land to justify despair.
Okay, there's a lot of people that we could thank, like Ms. Mulvaney, Ms. Peterson, who helped make this possible. There's a lot of people, I'm not going to name all of them, I'm going to name one more, and I don't want to say the most important one, but I think we would all agree. Over here, we have taking pictures, and setting up the live stream, and getting everything else organized to Mr. McCurry. Let's give him a big round. He does all the tech for all of this, he's wonderful. Okay. Up next, we have Jake Roll reading Holy Sonnets, Death Be Not Proud. Jake has played 3 sports for Washburn, and he did the fall play this year outside of school. He sings in a choir and likes playing the drums and guitar. This is his 2nd year doing poetry out loud. Bring it up, give it up for Jake.
Holy Sonnets, Death Be Not Proud, by John Donne. Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou think'st thou dost overthrow die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure. Then from thee much more must flow. And soonest, our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls' delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell. And poppy or charms can make us sleep as well, and better than thy stroke. Why swell'st thou then? One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die.
All right, thank you, Jake. Up next, we have Scar Amalia. Scar plays bass guitar in a rock band, performs as a thespian on the Washburn stage, and enjoys art. We're glad they had time to take a break from all this to engage with a little poetry. Come on up, Scar.
Windigo by Louise Erdrich, for Angela. The Windigo is a flesh-eating, wintry demon with a man buried deep inside of it. In some Chippewa stories, a young girl vanquishes this monster by forcing boiling lard down its throat, thereby releasing the human at the core of ice. You knew I was coming for you, little one. When the kettle jumped into the fire, towels slapped on the hooks, and the dog crept off, groaning, to the deepest parts of the woods. In the hackles of dry brush, a thin laughter started up. Mother scolded the food warm and smooth in the pot, and called you to eat. But I spoke in the cold trees. New one, I have come for you. Child, hide and lie still. The sumac pushed sour red cones through the air. Copper burned in the raw wood. You saw me drag toward you. Oh, touch me, I murmured and licked the soles of your feet. You dug your hands into my pale, melting fur. I stole you off. A huge thing in my bristling armor. Steam rolled from my wintry arms. Each leaf shivered from the bushes we passed until they stood, naked, spread like the cleaned spines of fish. Then your warm hands hummed over and shoveled themselves full of the ice and the snow. I would darken and spill, all night running, until at last morning broke the cold earth, and I carried you home, a river shaken in the sun.
Okay, thanks, Scar. Up next we have Gus Sicardi reading No, I Wasn't Meant to Love and Be Loved. Gus likes to chill and relax, as well as play sports. Give it up for Gus!
Testing. No, I was meant to love and be loved by Mirza Asadullah Khan Ghali and translated by Vijay Seshadari. No, I wasn't meant to love and be loved. If I'd lived longer, I would have waited longer. Knowing you are faithless keeps me alive and hungry. Knowing you faithful would kill me with joy. Delicate are you, and your vows are delicate too. So easily do they break. You are a laconic marksman. You leave me not dead, but perpetually dying. I want my friends to heal me, succor me. Instead, I get analysis. Conflagrations that would make stones drip blood are campfires compared to my anguish. Two-headed, inescapable anguish. Love's anguish, or the anguish of time. Another dark, severing, incommunicable night. Death would be fine, if I only died once. I would have liked a solitary death, not this lavish funeral, this grave anyone can visit. You are mystical, Ghali, and also, you speak beautifully. Are you a saint, or just drunk, as usual?
Okay, up next we have Charlie Bosick reading The Gamble. Charlie likes debate and art and is a returning competitor from last year. Welcome, Charlie!
The Gamble. The Gamble by Laura Hershey. We are taught not to gamble. Perhaps it is thought we have lost enough already. Legs, vision, speech, the typical use of our bodies. Others' fears would teach us to cringe at any thought of any risk. Disability and risk don't mix. Risk is something we are supposed to be protected from by agencies, by professionals, by parents, by doctors, by invisibility, by shame, by confinement if necessary. We must be kept safe. This is one of the lies which fills the beds of the so-called homes. So we embrace the risks to fight the lies. This is our gamble. Minute by minute, city after city, from the tense beginning to the jubilant or scattered end of every protest, with every rhythmic word of every chant, at each blocked entrance, each barricade, with every With every defiant inch forward, every move toward freedom for our people, anytime we raise a fist or a song to mean we're never going away, in every confrontation up and down the length of the standoff, each and every time we are testing the humanity of people who wear a badge, carry a gun, and fear our incomprehensible strength. We know this is a dangerous task. For some fails extraordinarily as others pass. It is a gamble. Risky and promising. It may pay off in unmet eyes or a curious stare, surely dismissals, or a question, dialogue, or bruises.
Okay, up next we have Thomas McVeigh reading Where the Wild Things Are. Thomas is one of those techie guys everyone wants to know. He volunteers Saturday afternoons fixing tech equipment for his community. In his free time, he skis, loves to travel, and advocates for urban and environmental issues. All right, give it up for Thomas.
Where the Wild Things Go by D. Gilson. The night Max wore his wolf suit made him infamous, bred the child star, never sent him. Middle school. Max started drinking. Not in my house. His mother's bed. No, no, no. What? Max reminded her. Who bought this condo? Who paid for it? Freshman year, Max raved. Roared his terrible roar. Rolled. And almost wound up in a warehouse dead. Where? Oh, where? Do the wild things go? To rehab in high school. To college. On residual book sales. Max kept his head down. Laughed at broken facts. Bruh, let the wild rumpus start. Max said, no thanks, and volunteered for the Peace Corps instead. 2 years in Kenya, one in Belarus. The president thought Max might be of some use. Max moved to Washington, appointed at the State Department a cultural attaché. One important day, Max wore his wolf-gray suit, then drove home well past rush hour in a freak snowstorm. Max drove on the deserted Beltway, thought it his throne. Yes, Max belted. This is where the wild things roam.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Next, we've got Lydia Belusa reading The World is About to End and My Grandparents Are in Love. Lydia enjoys choir and playing softball. She plans on studying public health and nursing. Give it up for Lydia.
world is about to end, and my grandparents are in love, by Karen Jackson. Still, living like they orbit one another, my grandfather the planet, and Grandma his moon assigned by some gravitational pull, they have loved long enough for a working man to retire. Grandma says she's not tired. She wears her husband like a coat that survives every season, talks about him when my parents talk about vinyl, the subject salvaged by the tent of their tongues. My grandma returns to her love like a hand, marks it with a hug. When the world ends, will it suck the earth of all its love? Will I go taking somebody's hand, my skin becoming their skin? The digital age is taking away our winters, and I'm afraid the sun is my soulmate. That waste waits for a wet kiss, carbon calls me pretty, and I think death is a good first date. I hope when the world ends, it leaves them be. Leaves Grandpa to his game, Grandma spinning corn into weight, the two of them reeling into Western theme songs. The TV louder than whatever's coming.
Up next, we have Greta Nystrom Grootman reading Hanging Fire. Greta is a returning performer, and we're glad she's here. By the way, she is 17, not 14, as her poem claims. In her free time, she is training for dance skills and being one of the 2 assistant heads of Washburn's theater department. She is excited to be performing again. Give it up for Greta.
Hanging Fire by Audre Lorde. I am 14 and my skin has betrayed me. The boy I cannot live without still sucks his thumb in secret. How come my knees are always so ashy? What if I die before morning? And Mom was in the bedroom with the door closed. I have to learn how to dance in time for the next party. My room is too small for me. Suppose I die before graduation. They will sing sad melodies, but finally tell the truth about me. There is nothing I want to do and too much that has to be done. And Mama is in the bedroom with the door closed. Nobody's going to think about my side of it. I should have been on math team. My marks better than his. Why do I have to be the one wearing braces? I have nothing to wear tomorrow. Mama's in the bedroom with the door closed.
Okay, thank you, Greta. That's halfway. How are we feeling? Yeah, right? It's going great so far. Up next, we have Lydia Ganser reading Invisible Children. Lydia enjoys going out to eat and her dog. Welcome, Lydia.
Invisible Children by Mariana Lawrence. Invisible children fall through the cracks of the system, like Alice in the rabbit hole. But these children won't find an eat me cake or a drink me bottle. They won't wake up on the lap of a loving sister. They'll open their eyes on the hand of a monster called negligence, who will poke them with its sharp teeth and bait them with its heartless laughter like a wild thing in a wild rumpus. But the children won't awake to the smell of a warm supper, nor will they find a purple crayon to draw an escape, door or window. Instead, they'll make a mirror of a murky puddle on the city street, which won't tell them they're beautiful, but it will show them their scars, as invisible to others as these children are.
Thank you, Lydia. Up next we have Mayan Fisher reading There Are Birds here in his free time. Mayan enjoys playing sports like football and basketball and video games like 2K. Mayan told Ms. Mulvaney that English is his second favorite class. He's a very brave fellow. Welcome, Mayan.
There Are Birds Here by Jamal May for Detroit. There are birds here. So many birds here. Is what I was trying to say when they said those birds are metaphors for what is trapped between building and building. No, the birds are here to root around for bread. The girls' hands tear and toss like confetti. No, I don't mean a bird that smells like cotton. I said confetti. And no, not the confetti a teen can make a big building. I mean the confetti a boy can't stop smiling about. And no, his smile isn't much like a skeleton at all. And no, his neighborhood is not like a war zone. I am trying to say his neighborhood is as tattered and fetid as anything else. As shadow pierced by sun and light parted by shadow dance as anything else. But they won't stop singing. How lovely the ruins, how ruined the lovely children must be in that birdless city.
Thank you, Mayan. Up next we have Max Roman line. Yeah. We need Amelia Owen to the main office. If Amelia Owen is in here, please go to the main office. Okay, up next we have Max Roman Locke reading Mansplaining. Max plays soccer and enjoys going out to eat. Her favorite restaurant is Chipotle. Give it up for Max.
Mansplaining by Jennifer Militone. Dear Sir, your air of authority leaves me lost, eases me from a place of ease, contracts with my contradictions to take from me a place, autopilots my autobiography, frightens my fright, sighs with my breath, wins at my race. Your certainty has me curtained. Your nerve has me nervous. Your childhood has me childlike. And your nastiness nests in my belfry like a... You are beyond and above my slice of sky, peach as a pie, bourbon as its pit. You are spit and vinegar while I sour in my bowl. You bowl me over while I tread lightly on my feet. You walk on water while I sink. You witness me, fisherman, boat on the lake, while I struggle and burble and brittle and dry. You wink at me and I must relate. I close my eyes to erase you and you are written in my lids. A litmus test, a form of lead. God with 3 days of facial growth, an old bouquet for a face, soap and water for a brain. I have no handsome answer.
I have no pillar of salt or shoulder to look over. I have no feather to weigh. I have no bubble to burst. I am less to myself a character in a drama, a drumbeat, a benevolence, a blight. All parts of me say shoot on sight, aim for an artery or organ, good night.
All right, thank you, Max. Up next, we have Gloria reading We Are Not Responsible. Gloria likes to hang out with her friends and study cardiology and neurology. Welcome, Gloria.
We are not responsible for our hearing moment. We are not responsible for your lost or stolen relatives. We cannot guarantee your safety if you disobey our instructions. We do not endorse the causes or claims of people begging for handouts. We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Your ticket does not guarantee that we will honor your reservations. In order to facilitate our procedures, please limit your carrying on. Before taking off, please extinguish all smoldering resentments. If you cannot understand English, you will be moved out of the way. In the event of a loss, you'd better look out for yourself. Your insurance was canceled because we can no longer handle your medical claims. Our handlers lost your luggage, and we are unable to find the key to your legal case. You were detained for interrogation because you fit the profile. You are now presumed to be innocent if the police have reason to suspect you are carrying a concealed wallet. It's not our fault you were born wearing a gang collar. It is not our obligation to inform you of your rights. Step aside, please, while our officer inspects your bad attitude. You have no rights we are bound to respect. Please remain calm, or we can't be held responsible for what happens to you.
Okay, thank you, Gloria. We've got 7 or 8 poets left. The bell is going to ring here. You are not moving when the bell rings. You are all staying here until the end of the performance. So when the bell rings, please be respectful to our performers and just stay where you are. Don't make any noise, because it's really hard for them to focus if everybody's moving. So we're going to stay right where we are if the bell rings, and it's going to ring like it probably rings like it normally does. All right, up next, we have Anna Hoffer reading Among Women. Anna is an avid lover of art, literature, music, a storyteller at heart. She's currently writing her own book series called Golden Lightning, and is excited to someday share it with the world. Welcome, Anna.
Among Women by Marie Pontoff. What women wander? Not many. All. A few. Most would, now and then, and no wonder. Some, and I'm one, wander, sitting still. My small grandmother bought from every peddler loved her rooted garden, her grandchildren, her once wild, once young man. Women wander as best they can.
All right, thank you, man. And you all did a wonderful job of staying where you are when the bell rang. You know it's going to ring again like it normally does at 14 and then 15, so do the same thing. Just stay right where you are. Up next we have Sasha Jordan reading From the Sky. Sasha likes nature, music, and literature. Welcome, Sasha.
From the Sky by Sarah Abu Rashad. When I die, bury me in the sky. No one is fighting over it. Children are playing soccer with empty bombshells. From the sky, I can see them. A grandmother is baking her Eid Makruta and Lamul. From the sky, I can taste them. Teens are writing love letters under an orange tree. From the sky, I can read them. Soldiers are cocking new rifles at the checkpoint. From the sky, I can hear them. Under fire, death and water are brewing in the kitchen. From the sky, I can smell them. When I die, bury me in the sky, I said. For now, it is quiet. No one owns it, and no one is claiming to.
Thank you, Sasha. Up next we have Felix Berger reading I Don't See. Felix plays Alderman Frisbee. In his free time you can find him on this very stage acting with the Washburn Thespians. Welcome, Felix!
I Don't See by Roberson. I expected something up, out of the water, not the shadow in the wave that rose. To fill the wave and splash a breath off the abutting air, then disappear. I didn't see any of this, only the dark wave. Even the size of a whale, I don't see what I look directly at. I didn't see the pronghorn antelope, speed they pointed out equal our cars, but never having seen distance so large. I couldn't pin in it, point to antler, and saw in paradox instead the world, entire, still, brown arc of leap, so like a first look at the Milky Way. Each stone a star I saw, but could not see. I didn't see the NASCAR Earth drawings, looking at a line like a path, the vision on it, my not looking up, and trying to see from on the ground, looking from a plane thousands of feet above. Maybe I saw only what the unenlightened, marking out the lines, could see from there, because I never saw the figures until shown from books. I told Tocap the truth, that I was there. I was, but embarrassed, never told. I missed my chance. Until I saw, without embarrassment,
this country miss its chance looking at color and not see what it looked directly at? Doubt. Embarrassment. Act and not see that done on its own hands, not see its own bright blood.
All right, up next, we have Bronwyn Kemick reading Luke Havergal. Bronwyn is an indecisive individual who was given far too little time to write this introduction about themselves. Let's welcome Bronwyn.
Luke Havergal by Edwin Arlington Robinson. Go to the western gate, Luke Havergal, there where vines cling crimson on the wall, and in the twilight, wait for what will come. The leaves will whisper there of her, and some like flying words will strike you as they fall. But go, and if you trust her, she will call. Go to the western gate, Luke Havergal. Luke Havergal. No, there is not a dawn in eastern skies to quench the fiery night that's in your eyes. But there where western glooms are gathering, the dark will end the dark. If anything, God slays himself with each leaf that flies, and hell is more than half of paradise. No, there is not a dawn in eastern skies, in eastern skies. Out of the grave I come to tell you this. Out of the grave I come to quench the kiss that flames upon your forehead with a glow that blinds you to the way that you must go. Yes, there is yet one way to where she is. Bitter, but one that fate may never miss. Out of a grave I come to tell you this, to tell you this. There is the western gate, Luke Havergal. There are the crimson leaves upon the wall. Go, for the winds are tearing them away, nor think to riddle the dead words they say, nor any more to feel them as they fall, but go. And if you trust her, she will call. Go to the western gate, Luke Havergal. Luke Havergal.
Okay, thank you, Bronwyn. Up next, we have Petra Fargione reading Thank You Note. Our next performer you might know from her leopard print session or from her theater performances. Welcome, Petra.
A Thank You Note by Michael Ryan. My daughter made drawings with the pens you sent, line drawings that suggest the things they represent, different from any drawings she, at 10, had done, closer to real art, implying what the mind fills in. For her mother, she made a flower fragile on its stem. For me, a lion, calm, contained, but not a handsome one. She drew a lion for me once before on a get well card. and wrote, I must be brave, even when it's hard. Such love is healing, as you know, my friend, especially when it comes unbidden from our children, despite the flaws they see so vividly in us. Who can love you as your child does? Your son, so ill, the brutal chemo, his living loss, owning you now. Yet, you would be this generous to think of my child with the pens you sent. She has made, I hope, a healing instrument.
Thank you, Petra. Up next, we have Aurora Silva reading Architect's Watercolor. Aurora has an affinity for sharks and a sharp pencil case that is the envy of all her classmates. In her free time, she's a thespian and an artist. Welcome, Aurora.
Architect's Watercolor by Arthur C. An architect draws a watercolor depicting two people about to enter a meeting room, while someone on the stairway gazes through windows at a park, river, skyscrapers beyond. He does not want to be locked like a carbon atom in a benzene ring, but needs to rotate, lift off, veer along wharves and shoreline. In the acoustics of the space, he catches a needle bounce off a black granite floor, wanders from a main walkway, encounters prickled pear burn purple in wind. In the ocean gusts before dawn, he yearns for a Mediterranean spray, where sunlight tingles eyelashes, where sand releases heat under the stars. In the atrium, two violinists launch fireworks that arc, explode, dissolve into threads of melodic charm. Here Slate, near a pool of water, absorbs sunlight, releases ripples into the evening. And in this space, each minute is encounter. He steps out and makes footprints on a sidewalk dusted with snow.
All right, thank you, Aurora. Up next, we have Lamont Shannon reading The Table's Turn. Lamont likes writing and enjoys his English class, and after school, he wrestles for the Washburn wrestling team. Welcome, Lamont.
The Table's Turn by William Wordsworth. Up, up, my friend, and quit your books, or surely you'll grow dull. Up, up, my friend, and clear your looks. Why all this toil and trouble? The sun, above the mountain's head, a freshening luster mellow, through all the long green fields is spread, his first sweet evening yellow. Books, 'tis a dull and endless strife. Come, hear the woodland linnet. How sweet his music on my life, there's more of wisdom in it. And hark, How blithe the throstle sings, he too is no mean creature. Come forth into the light of things, let nature be your teacher. She has a world of ready wealth, our minds and hearts to bless. Spontaneous wisdom breathed by health, truth breathed by cheerfulness. One impulse from vernal wood may teach you more of man, of moral evil and of good, than all the sages can. Sweet is the lore which nature brings, our meddling intellect misshapes the beauteous forms of things we murder to dissect. Enough of science and of art. Close up those barren leaves. Come forth and bring with you a heart that watches and receives.
All right, thank you, Lamont. Up next we have Riley Hall reading They Buried Their Son Last Winter. Riley enjoys photography, art, nature, and music, and plays the cello. Welcome, Riley.
They Buried Their Son Last Winter by Sarah B. Zidane, translated by John Hennessy. They buried their son last winter. Strange weather for winter, rain, thunder. They buried him quietly. Everybody's busy. Who did he fight for? I asked. We don't know, they say. He fought for someone, they say, but who? Who knows? Will it change anything, they say? What's the point now? I would have asked myself, but now there's no need. And he wouldn't reply. He was buried without his head. It's the third year of war. They're repairing the bridges. I know so many things about you, but who listened? I know, for example, that song you used to sing. I know your sister. I always had a thing for her. I know what you were afraid of, and why, even. Who you met that winter, what you told him. The sky gleams, full of ashes, every night now. You always played for neighboring school, but who did you fight for? To come here every year, to weed dry grass, to dig the earth every year, heavy, lifeless, to see the calm after tragedy every year, to insist you didn't shoot at us, at your people. The birds disappear behind waves of rain, to ask forgiveness for your sins. But what do I know about your sins? To beg the rain to finally stop. It's easier for birds who know nothing of salvation, the soul.
Okay, how did all of our performers do? Yeah, give a round of applause. And our judges, light, sound, Mr. McCreary, and then everybody who helped with the show, you all did an amazing job.